2nd, 2015. It is about 9:37 a.m. We'll make note that this meeting has been posted in the manner for the time required. That all members of the board are present. If it be convenient, please stand. Mr. Robert, please enter invocation for blessings.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we just ask you to be with us this morning. Guide, direct us, give us wisdom on issues facing us. Better our county, better our community. Father, we just say thank you for the rains that we've had to fill our tanks and fill our lands and fill our lakes. Father, we just ask you to be with all our county employees for their safety and their health. Father, out working for this county, forgive us for the failure, work your will in our lives. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Public comments, announcements, presentations. Don't have anything down here real permanent. Except I do want to make note that our justice and police officers still living in water. We get substantial rain. Have the lumbers. Big handy and come over. Yes, they looked it over. I believe they ran the camera down. I believe they did find breakage party with drain pipe, although it was outside the building. Could be where plastic attaches to cast iron blades. Not sure what relevance that has. Thinks that it could be a possibility of just water accumulation over the course of many inches of rain and cracks in the building itself that water sits in. So that's still work in progress.
We'll necessitate repair system in the opposite way. We're going to have to dig it down and put in the water barriers and sort of the building.
Maybe against the
Foundation.
local clerk's office. Yeah, that's a real possibility. I think our problem is pretty well cured. What we did with Gordon JP's office, leaking through that wall around the window seat, but it's getting in some other location. Well, the breach in drain pipe appears to be on the outside of the building. I don't remember when we reworked that. I'm not sure if we did Rich drain on that side of the building or not. But evidently the four drain pipes coming out of the building attached to probably a similar size drain that goes out to the line. It runs water pretty good. Well, I say pretty good, not as much as you would think it would run out to the curve here. And over on the north end, it runs a little with this kind of rivers that run out much. A little more south end, but not as much as you would think it should. So there could be some work in that line.
So do you think that the problem with JP's office is wall seepage in the basement?
I don't know if those are connected problems. That might be
Water against the building.
they might be coming from the same source.
Your wall continues to deteriorate.
Well, I'd say that's a work in progress. Is there any other announcements or presentations? previous meeting, June 15th, 2015. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions?
Sure.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wiley, and a second by Commissioner Rogers to accept those minutes as presented. All in favor? Aye. Carried 5-0. Item number 5, consider the treasurer's financial report. Any bypass that, so action. Item number 6, consider auditor's budget amendments and for 2012.
99,977.05. And that 82,032.1. Precinct 1 only had 37.99. Job.
Good.
99,000.
977.05. How'd you do that? They'll be all hit next
All
time.
next one, yeah.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wiley. We have a second. Approve those vouchers as presented. Second. That's Commissioner Simon, second. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Item number 7, consider employee bonds. One on our 911 map coordinator Rebecca Brady, $5,000, and on Amber L. Hammond, Fort Bell Lieutenant, $5,000. So moved. Okay. Got a motion by Commissioner Wiley, and a second by Commissioner Pruitt to approve those bonds as presented. All in favor? Carried.
This is for the caretaker. We're gonna do both of them. Is this just order?
I think we've always just done one. I mean,
I'd rather her be
you,
responsible.
she takes in, usually takes in. So it's whatever.
We talked about it one time, I do both.
Yeah, we can. It's only another $50.
Who gets the money? That's what you usually
If she's not there, you take the money.
I mean, y'all, if we want to bond her, go ahead and
I agree, we probably need to vote. $50 safeguard.
add that on the next agenda. You want me to do it now? I'll do it.
I'll have to get the application filled out and stuff. Okay, Kathy.
Let's do it here. I'll bring it next. We're supposed to do it next one. Item number 8, discuss and consider court payment card processing participation agreement with Tyler Technologies, and Ms. Kay Horton will have to give us a little brief on that.
This is the mandation from the state going back to where the attorneys are having to file petitions, civil, to the different courts. And this is Tyler's and what he's handling. And this will be the last of it, starting in August.
This has to do with the electronic filing mandate. Tyler Technologies.
This is the one, what y'all approved the first time was the credit cards that they had to pay by. And there it says the thing on that. This here is the programming of the actual filing documents. You know, we take money, but it's a credit card, but the attorney is
So this is provided in the process in our records.
This is what they will file, we will look at and decide if we can accept it or not, and then we file it in the clerk's office. This is only civil and probate, they're looking at criminal.
So why are we relinquishing to this member?
Nothing, it's just a mandate that the state has put on us, and the attorneys, instead of walking into our office and filing cases, they have to go to
The choice is either do it or do it.
it's mandated.
I'll move that we accept this court payment card processing participation agreement.
It doesn't cost us anything. There's 3 credit cards.
They're
Set
going
up.
through the devastation and all.
And we have a motion by Commissioner Sykes, second by Commissioner Wiley to approve the court payment card processing participation agreement with Tyler Technologies. All in favor? Carried.
Hey, we also get one for the district clerk.
This is for both, this is for both, this is for both.
Okay. And they both already done, we've already done the credit card part.
This is for District eight.
That carried 5. Item number 9 is discuss and consider air conditioning system for the well out museum. Motion to have any of them. Just, we didn't ask those specific times.
Got 2 phone calls, one from Tennessee and one from the Middle East. For proposals, air conditioning. One from Tennessee was like a main, they did full alarms and stuff like that. And the one from the Middle East, they only do repairs.
Yeah.
They don't do installations. And that's all they're.
You didn't have one, Brad's family, you didn't have any. Brad's
So they did it for all the rest.
I stood up, tell me if they were gonna put something in.
Just kind of stuck with it. Unless you want to give it another week. I say we should let her get out to the people.
Requesting the vote.
Local.
By the next meeting. Yes.
I think the 3 or 4 contacts, 2 of them didn't have time, or they were just somewhere in the repair business, they couldn't install.
So the request for proposal went out in the newspaper. Where? Leader will be satisfied to know if they're well read in Tennessee and Middle East.
But we can mail them out to local, I guess we could even get some what's called falls.
Well, this, long probably keep it there together.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah, it is
I can't remember the name. Oh, Tom the building. Right next to Brazos Valley, heating there.
Grand heating, air conditioning.
Oh, his name.
600.
Timmons and South.
And he said, yeah, he sure did. So I proposed, I know the deadline for it, and that's the last time I heard. So he was busy working on his building, and then I sent the word to Lynn Parker, who had given the proposal earlier, maybe last year. Maybe it was one Becky, and then still there. And looked at it, given the proposal, and that's our armed services.
There's several people there.
I figure if we don't get something by the next 2 weeks, they can't wait on something.
Okay,
When do we want to look at them again?
you'll give it another week.
Yeah, like 2 weeks. So
Do you want to put it in the paper again and,
I think so, but
and
I said 2 weeks.
to like all
I think we did a week. We meet next week. You know, if there was ever a peak season for those guys, it's right in the end. But, you know, they're busy reacting to the calls that they're getting. It's difficult, I'm sure, for them to stop them. You know about today, and I'll get to Wednesday.
Don't have any problem.
July 10th. July 5th or 6th.
So you carved out sometime.
We've got another issue to start, well, I'm last and second year. I think we probably ought to start up with expects and could probably take proposals on that too. Or either the 3X, top rail posts and 4-5 sucker on or with an antique or maybe double like place post. Out.
They just want to look into their construction.
Excuse me.
County crews did the construction.
Well, we could, but it's something that's going to need to be, the need of some special equipment. Be a little time involved, and there needs to be equipment. We need to get cleaned up and get that.
We talked to it.
I haven't talked to him yet, but
See if he has any thoughts or whatever. Don't see why we can't do it.
I don't know.
We should do it today and today. We got all that numbers.
That's one of those things that
All we're,
we get started on.
we got all we got all. They get a pipe drive down there. The other thing about it is that wherever we're running, we'll take a load and push the option right now. And we do that way, if we do that fraction, we can't do anything else. My suggestion is, once you get with Matt and organize the logistics of it, just on a day on the calendar, and throw all the county crews in a couple of days. What we need to do is locate the time to run. We can use the existing gates that are there. Materials, we need to call it in on location. When we start,
I did go place of that. I believe that it was 175 feet. About 200 feet. We can, one of the high roads around here. I didn't know, I think it was 275. So they got, yeah, 275, 300.
yeah, we're down here.
And then, yeah, just reference. I've got the place was written down out there. Look up that. Exactly. We go down.
So you gotta work up some air conditioning specs, or do I just have?
You know, they're just asking for proposals, you tell them what it is they can do, put in the best air conditioning system we can. Then we'll decide from there.
It's hard to explain on the phone whenever Air Smart came out. I was trying to tell them, get the size. And it's 2-story. There's not insulation on the first one. There's looking at the bottom. So they said, well, I'll just come out and look at it. So once they come out and look at it,
Sure, then they give you a proposal.
yeah, Air Smart has some mechanical, but they And it's, I mean, it seems like everybody's wanting to do the same thing, right, just going about it a different way.
At least everybody doing the same thing, now we must be on the right track about how to do it.
And Brazos Valley, you see, that whole thing excited about that. I'm not pretty big about it right out there. And then Ardmore. He's been there once, a year or two ago.
He's been at just like that since I was
Yeah.
can't say anything about air conditioning, but it's water.
Very good. Got a motion by Commissioner Sykes, second by Commissioner Pruitt. Stand there. That second time. And to extend the time for submitting proposal for air conditioning for Bell Mountain Museum to July the 6th. Time. Proposals and by the end of the day, Friday.
Well, it's a holiday. No. This has anybody new?
Let's do it by 10 a.m. on Monday.
Okay. Maybe you can hear by 10 and we'll look at them at 10:15.
We'll approach the time. All in favor? Item number 10, discuss and consider action regarding inmate services. Got Eric Brown saying on this. I guess that includes the sheriff. All of their.
Yes, good morning. The sheriff had requested that Mr. Tim Quintana, representative from Southern Health Care Partners, be here today in case anybody had any other further questions. So,
I got something on this. I did call some of the places that do have the Southern Health Partners, and I talked to the county judges, commissioners. I mean, just if you call the Hill County judge, which is, I try to call everybody that has about the same population as we do in our jail. And when I talked to, what's his name, Judge Lewis with Hill County, he said we'd be foolish not to do something like this. He says, out of they've had this since 2009, and out of every year that they've had this, they've actually come in under what they quote them, and they pay them back the money. He says the cost has gone down tremendously from what they did spend to using the Southern Health to call Montague County. Spoke to their judge over there, county judge over there, and he said that it has saved them money. They've been with them for 5 years, and they couldn't have found somebody any better than them. He says they had the medical in the sheriff's office budget, and since they've had it, it's come in under what they expected. I only talked to one person, and that was Nolan County, and they said they came in a little over, but they had like 3 care flights. And really spiked it up.
Well, I've got.
We can all understand
all those. I have those people.
You talked to them too?
I've got 8 labels out.
Yeah.
Responded yet.
Yeah. I just went ahead and called them so I could figure out what was going on. Everybody that I've talked to, Fort Hill County, Montague, Hill County, Jones County, everybody just, they rave about it.
it's just like we had talked before. It's just something that we have felt like. I've talked to the sheriff and the chief deputy that this would help the jail out extremely well. We're averaging right now, I think, 13 inmates per visit to the doctor, and it's getting to where those numbers are not going down; they're just coming up. I mean, they just keep coming up.
You come from Stevens County, you have a relationship with this Southern Health Partners.
Yes, sir. Everything we got them in our jail there, yes, sir.
How long have they been there?
A little under 2 years now. I believe y'all are starting this third year there.
Negotiate the contract with our local hospital through their family clinic. They really feel satisfied with it. Over time, understand that either way, we're going to have personnel in the medical room. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Either way.
Yes, sir, I'm aware of that. And that's just for the safety of everybody involved. Because they can't examine the inmates when they're, because we have to uncuff them and shackle them. So, you know, we're going to have somebody there no matter what. That's just, the one huge plus that I saw on everything was the handling of meds. The liability, the medical liability with those meds to the county. If anything goes wrong with those meds, not just the county, but the sheriff's department, the jail, and the actual person that touched those meds are going to be liable for sure.
Or the meds not prepackaged overdose.
No, sir. They're just given to us in a 30-day supply. We take it out, we pass out those meds, we sort those meds. They're sorted out in the 30-day supply, but you have to take them meds.
Understand about all their prepackaged.
No, sir. They come on a tablet in the 30-day supply.
And am I not right from what these people told me, that if something happens with meds or anything with the medical, that the liability now, with us doing it, will fall back on the county. What they're doing it, they're the ones getting sued. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's what I thought.
We have an indemnification policy with every contract. It covers the county up to $1 million per incident, up to $5 million per year, per calendar year. That's standard with every one of our contracts.
It's just insurance on
Well, if you talk to these other counties, they say something different.
So we could, if we were to take and have our local pharmacy decide to put in separate bags, prepackaged bags, that's what y'all do, right? It'll be the same scenario, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what happens then, that guy's gonna be there for 4 hours, correct?
Who's going to be there for our time?
Whichever nurse or whichever physician you have, you said he'll be there.
Yes, sir. We'll be there 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Yes, sir.
You've got other people in there that take meds 3 times a day, right?
Yes, sir. This company, they cut that down. They take it twice a day. There will not be any more frequency than twice a day.
Frequency than twice a day.
Yes, sir.
So if the guy needs insulin or a special type drug,
They're not insulin, then yes, they're going to have it at their given times. But, like I said, the majority of the time they're only going to take it twice a day, unless it's something on a special case.
do y'all pay for insulin?
Well, we'll pay for the prescription drugs pursuant to the contract. Yes, sir. We supply all the pharmaceuticals that are needed for the facility at a reduced rate because we're in 13 states, over 200 facilities, so we buy in bulk. So we pass those savings along to the county directly. Not to mention the fact that we have a nurse on staff in-house that handles the meds and would be able to dispense those medications, with all the medical protocols that we have in our policies and procedures. We follow the National Correctional Healthcare Institute's dynamics and protocols along with the Texas Commission on Drug Standards. So we're held to really a pretty high standard when it comes to that, and all that is geared towards protecting the county, minimizing costs, and saving money. We've been in business for 21 years. We cannot be in business if we don't save the county's money that we serve. That's one of our main goals, and we've been successfully doing that now for 21 years. And, that's why when every contract that we submit for review, there's a 60-day out clause. So if y'all decide to go with us tomorrow, and we're here for 2 months, and you don't like us, there's a no-fault termination clause either by the county or by us. So it's like, we don't want to be here if you don't want us, but we want to be here to help you. And with regards to Stevens County, their contract is renewed. They have a feature that's called the cost pool feature, which we're not offering here. We could if you wanted it, but we refunded money back to them at the end of their budget year because we came in under budget. And we come in routinely, we come in under budget at a lot of our facilities, unless they had a catastrophic inmate. Just telling you the truth, like Nolan County in Sweetwater, they're one of our new accounts. They had a catastrophic inmate that this girl had to be transported by helicopter, and no fault of anybody, and they couldn't bond her out because the charges were so serious. That money eventually is always going to come back to the county. But because of the exorbitant expense of care flight, that's just a county cost. But those kinds of expenses, nobody can predict when that's going to happen. Now, what our nurses do, that are in-house on a routine basis, they will practice proactive medicine where they evaluate the inmates, they do sick call, they have the doctors lined up. If somebody can bond out that could cost the county a lot of money because of their illness or those kinds of things, we proactively work with the jail administration to say, hey, if there's any way you can get this person out of jail by bond or by other means, then this is one that you need to get out of the facility. So we help the counties in that way. I'm a retired jail administrator from McKinney, Texas, in Collin County. That's where I live, and we've had that kind of medical service for us for quite some time. And the way the medical dynamics go now is it's such a slippery slope of charges and medications and liability that to protect the county when there's something available, it's something to consider. And so that's pretty much where we come from.
And just the savings on it from what we figured out is the cost of the salary of somebody. I mean, you're saving $25,000 to $35,000 to $40,000 for us using this. So how can you even not think about something like this that could save the county that much money?
The county never saves money and turns right back around. It depends on where that money savings goes.
They don't even accept what I'm saying here because if you
I
can
know
save that.
But we're talking about two different things here. You're sitting here, Commissioner's Court, looking at the budget item.
It is.
They're looking at it as an execution of the system. They're taking the liability away, making it more efficient, and active management, I think, is probably the key here to any kind of savings, like buying out those prisoners that don't sitting there.
It's definitely a proactive.
Letting the pregnancy go bad on you, whatever, that kind of thing.
We try to, it's a very proactive type of scheme that we use to try to help the county stay ahead of the
We're
work.
working two sides of a particular question. The sheriff's department trying to help them administer the inmate medical program. At the same time, we're trying to find a program that works for the county and its budget, save the taxpayers ultimately money. And if we're thinking we can save $33,000 here and spend $33,000 there, we're not going to. Lord knows how many expenses that have to address all over. How is it that you can look at what we're doing now and tell us that you can save us $30,000?
Well, what we do is we do evaluations just about every day on facilities across the country. And based on our experience, based on the average daily population of the inmates, we are able to come up with a formula that works pretty well for like this size of jail. We're basing these numbers on 65 inmates average daily population. And then there's X amount of pills that are usually going to be, percentage-wise, or X amount of hours that are going to be needed. And it's based on our history of our company and what we've done. We have jails from all sizes, from Jones County, which is 30 beds, to Smith County and Tyler, which is 1,144 beds. But we specialize in the jails that are of this size and a little bit bigger. And one of the reasons why we specialize in that is because that's just where there's a bigger need. I mean, these kind of facilities historically don't usually have a medical until they have an incident. You know, it's kind of the old, you know, we had a problem, we got this issue, we got sued, we got hung out to dry, it cost the county a lot of money, and now we want to try to be proactive for the next fiscal year.
So you're using historical data that your company has experienced already for the analytics to predict what our costs will be?
That's part of it. Now, there's always, every jail is different. Every jail across the United States is different. There's not one jail in the state of Texas, 254 counties, that's the same. So every jail is different. But we also use information provided by the facility of you know, the who, what, when, where, why, and how of how they operate on a daily basis. And because everybody's different. The physical dynamics are different. You know, the inmate population is different. There may be a bigger meth problem in this part of the country, and there may be a bigger heroin problem in this part of it. So we take as much information as we possibly can and then come up with what we
You're smoothing out that data about local information.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. We try to do several things. We try to always do business locally. We try to get as much input from the local authorities as we possibly can, open lines of communication, and then come up with the best plan that we can. Nobody's got a crystal ball. I can't say that we have some horrific incident that happens in Graham and that individual ends up in your jail and has some kind of bad disease that costs the county a lot of money. I can't predict that.
Well, where and when, from whom did you get the specific data on Young County jail?
From the Young County,
Just from the numbers that we've got from the state. Okay, because Mr. Brady, you don't think you're short. Sure, sure. And he doesn't even have a real feel for the county jail yet. He's got a feel for jails.
I've written up another proposal for Young County back in 2012 and come over and visit with some of the staff back then as well. And it's, you know, I love this part of the country. It's a great county. You know, if this deal works out, you know, we'll give you the best quality service that we can, and feel like we have a good opportunity to save you some money based on the numbers that I've seen.
Is there a cap on the amount of premium that can jump per year?
We ask for a 2% cost increase annually, based on just actual business practices. That's a pretty conservative cost increase.
How about experience rating though? If you have a bad year, will that reflect on the next year's premium?
No, sir. No, the premiums are going to be pretty well are set by contract. I think the 3-year proposal that we gave pretty well specifies only a 2% cost increase each year.
So our losses are spread across the other 200 facilities that you represent to determine that premium?
No.
How localized is that premium?
It's about for Young County. We don't spread anything amongst other counties. That has absolutely no bearing. This is an individual contract with an individual county. There's nothing. There's no connectivity there other than the bulk buying of the pharmaceuticals, and we spread that savings to everybody because we deal with the main pharmaceutical company that supplies us our pharmaceuticals at a discounted rate because, you know, we have the buying power there.
So if we have normal years, 3 out of 4 years, our premiums are likely to exceed the normal increase that would normally come with those premiums.
I'm not sure.
You're going to have to recoup your money somehow. We can't continue to be a loss to you.
No, I mean, if let's say, for instance, worst case scenario, we have a catastrophic inmate in Young County this year. We had that in Rockwall County, which is one of our counties. A guy is a constable. He got in a shootout with his girlfriend, killed her, got in a shootout with Highway Patrol. They shot him, they didn't kill him. He had to have a colostomy bag. Well, he came right back to the county jail. Well, those kind of charges, he's not going to get out of jail. And the cost of that, which could happen in any county tomorrow, given today's volatile world, that cost comes back to the county. That's stuff that we have no control over.
It's now being reflected in their premiums, right?
No, sir. No,
When will it be?
It's a 2% cost increase at the end of each year. That's by contract, in writing, signed, sealed, and delivered every year. The renewal is right there. It's
No matter
2%.
what the cost might be in one single year.
It's 2% cost increase, or by contract. It's in writing that the county judge would sign, or he always designated to sign it. But we're not going to go up 12%. That we don't operate that way.
That's exactly what these counties told me to. I was like, plus they said the cost of saving on outside of this, cost of overtime from using jailers to come up and transport and all that stuff was just tremendous too. The outside cost besides the cost of inmate medical.
Understanding how you cost your product gives me an idea about how you can save us money.
Yes, sir.
You know,
I understand.
The 3 minutes a day down to 2 minutes a day. Now, those prescriptions come from.
They'll be coming from our pharmaceutical supply, and we also have tried to establish a local contract with the local pharmaceutical that the county would recommend to, in case you need emergency medicine type of things, and we, build
So
up
if we have an inmate that comes into the jail, his personal physician has prescribed him 3 pills a day.
Yes, sir.
You will look at that
Absolutely.
analysis, decide whether or not that's correct, and try to do it.
We will try to serve that inmate with the minimal health standards that are required to make sure that he is taken care of in a medical manner. That's what we would do.
The doctor, your personal physician, doesn't always do minimum standards.
Correct. That's correct, sir. And so that's the way we try to work. Our nurses, if they call in sick, they're on vacation, we're on the hook to supply a replacement. If the doctor is on vacation or sick, we're on the hook to supply this replacement. We have
Because there are going to be no shows because she woke up sick this morning.
no. We have
Grandma was sick.
travel nurses that travel around that are not assigned to a facility. That's their only job. They're called travel nurses. We also have 2 regional nurses that live in Montague County that work for our company that are within striking distance of Young County. And we, Texas is a big state, and I've seen a lot of it. But we cover. We have our furthermost southern count is Calhoun County, which is Port Lavaca. Where if you go any further south, you're in the ocean. So we cover them, and we do a real good job of that kind of coverage.
How do you dispense everything? Do you have a central location that you dispense your meds from?
The meds are sent from the pharmaceutical company directly to the facility.
So it's direct ship to the facility?
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's handled by the medical staff, receiving it, dispensing it, noting it.
Who receives it here at this jail?
Well, if it's received, it usually would be received by somebody receiving, and it's all packaged.
That box is not touched until your people open.
No, there are protocols for safety standards, just like chain of custody. That's the way I like to,
Oh, well.
Yes, sir. It's very much the same way. Yes, sir.
Whether it's pharmaceuticals, are they U.S. pharmaceuticals, or they're Canadian pharmaceuticals?
No, they're the United States pharmaceuticals. Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely, and I appreciate the questions, and I really do, because you don't know what you don't know. And if I was in your book, I'd be saying the same thing. But I've been in law enforcement for 30 years, and I've worked for this company for going on 3 now. And my friends mean more to me than my business.
Well, this is one of the things you need to understand. We're
Yes,
spending Young County taxes. Right
Understand?
now, we're spending them with a Young County health facility.
Understand?
And you're asking us to take that Young County money and give it to you.
Well, I'm not asking you to take all of it and give it to me, because I think there's certain things in your program that will stay the same whether we're here or not. Some of the things won't change, my understanding, and we work with the existing facilities and the other people that are in the loop right now to help assist, to document the paper trails and the billing cycles that our staff does are really, really helpful to the different counties. In other words, if the sheriff has a record on what kind of medication little Johnny had 6 months ago at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll have those documents. We'll have that ready for him from an evidentiary perspective to say, look, Johnny got 2 Tylenol at 3 o'clock on June 14th. We'll keep that data for the county. We'll be the custodian of the records, but they're your records, so if you need them, obviously you can have them. The billing is something else that we follow up on. The billing aspect is a big part of medical, as you well know, because if somebody's dying, if somebody says he's got a seizure in the jail right now, what happens? A guy's got a seizure and he walks up to the jailer and says, hey, I'm having a seizure. Well, that detention officer is going to go, we need to call an ambulance. I mean, you get this guy to the hospital. Look, my nurses are trained on what's a real seizure and what's not. And that's just one, example of how we practice proactively in regards to saving the county money, saving liability.
So we'll have more real-time diagnosis of the problem right there at the facility.
On site, yes, sir, because we believe in doing, it's just like when we go to the doctor in the free world. We spend more time with the nurse than we do with the doctor. I mean, you do, I do, I know. If anybody's got a more attentive doctor, I'd like to know, because my doctor, I see him about 3 minutes a year, but it's the same thing. That's what we try to proactively practice as well. We do a really good job of it because that's what we do full time. But the billing part, real important on the billing part, we have ladies at our corporate office, that's all they do. That's their full-time, 24/7 job. They bill, they follow up, they can talk to a hospital with hospital language. I've been a cop all my life. I mean, I don't know, what procedure was really justified or not. Our staff does, and that way they can save the county money. If the medical facility, whether it be a local hospital or somebody that had to be transported to Fort Worth or wherever, is trying to charge the county too much money. We also have a feature that we do for the county. It's called Quick Pay. Some of these hospitals that need their money, overnight, they have a bill for 10 grand, and we say, we'll ship you 7,500, and you'll have it in the morning. If you'll accept it in lieu of that 10 grand, and the hospital says, yes, we'll do that, boom. We do it and save the county $2,500. So there's a lot of things that we do proactively.
So your company has the ability to pay those kind of claims?
Absolutely, yes, sir. Absolutely.
How large a company is it?
Our company's in, we're in 13 states. We have over 210 facilities now. We have probably 1,000 different medical professionals that work for us, nurses, doctors, RNs, LVNs, psychiatrists, psychologists. Our director is a medical doctor that oversees all the operational aspects of our company and our operation. So we have a really strong deal. The guys that do what I do, there's only 5 of us around the country, and we're all retired jail administrators. In one case, we have a retired sheriff that does.
What's your job now?
I'm the sales and marketing guy for Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma.
How many administrative people do you have?
We have president, CEO. I mean, we have a large contingency.
Is it a solely held corporation, or is it?
Yes, solely owned. Yes, sir. Yeah,
You said something about the psychiatrist.
You mentioned our needs. Yes.
What? Is there anything with regard to that in this contract that you provide?
Yeah, we will be addressing all the MHMR needs in the county, in the jail. And make referrals.
Is that not an extra cost?
No, that's part of it. That's not an extra cost. That's part of it. And we have, our nurses that will be able to, our regional director will be able to bring in qualified mental health professionals to address any kind of need like that of an inmate that may need that.
How do you work with our local inmates?
If we were to be awarded the contract or that kind of deal, then we would immediately start establish lines of communication, talk to them, see what's the best fit for us working with them, work with the county employees that already probably have great lines of communication and kind of build on those existing relationships. I mean, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I'm here to help the county save money. I mean, bottom line, where I'm trying to work for is for the commissioner's court to get to that point where it says less is more. The less you hear about the medical issues, the more you like it. And the less you spend, the more you like it. That's where I always try to go to, the less is more factor. And we do a pretty good job of doing it.
And they will also, the employees, our physicals, our TVs, to where now, we only have one person left in the jail now that can administer a TB test on an employee. That would be Linda Wilson. She is retiring in August. Once she's gone, we're either gonna have to retrain somebody, have a doctor come in and do it, to whereas if we had this company, they could do all that as part of the contract.
Eric, what's the average daily population currently?
Currently, it's at 64.9.
How much does that differ from month to month?
It's within 5 or 10. And what your average daily population is that you turn a number in how many people you have in your jail every day to the state of Texas. And you have what's called an average daily population. With our jail inspection, that's the number that we have for that year. So the number that we turn in the day we get inspected is going to be the number we have for that year. And I believe our number that for the year is going to be 65.3.
Okay. In a given month, if we have, let's say it runs at 75, is that, I say there's $1.25 for each inmate of the average population. Is that by the month or by the?
That's about a month.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So that does not carry over to the following month. That's just that 1 month.
Yes, I understand.
So it goes up to 80 one day and then back down to 60. This
We
is
go
an
on,
average
we
out.
go on average. We don't go on a daily type of deal. That's an average. At the end of the month, whatever number Eric turns in, that's what we go by.
So if it's 64 the first of the month, 66, then you have to pay $1.25 times 2.
Actually, that 64, 66 would average out to 65, so you wouldn't pay anything. Because that's the number that we built the contract on.
If a particular month went to 70, we're going to have 5 surcharges.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's correct. Yes,
And
sir.
that's only if,
$6.25.
and that's only if at the end of that month your average daily population is at 7.
Yeah,
So
that-
let me ask you a question. Out of all the counties you have in Texas, most of the 18 of them said that they get something back
Mhm.
each year.
Yes, sir.
Is that all you got in Texas, 18, or you got more?
We have 18 right now. When I started,
So most of these
years ago,
get
we had
something
4,
back.
now we have 18. Yeah, most of them have. Now, what happens is that's the cost pool feature. It's a different accounting feature that some of y'all that's not, included in this proposal. Although we could include it, it's a dollar for dollar cost pool amount. And all that is an extra amount that you pay monthly to us on your bill that we get as it's a savings, and then we use that to pay for your outside expenses. It stands right now, the proposal you have is for the services. Any outside expenses the county is still paying for right now.
Okay, I have a question for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on outside expenses.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
I want to make sure this, they kind of explain it to me. The people going through the hospital,
Yes, ma'am.
y'all pay that directly to the hospital. We don't have to pay any of that.
Now, if somebody goes out, any treatment outside the facility, as it's written right now, y'all would still pay for that.
That's without the cost.
That's without the cost pool. If we had the cost pool, which we could add dollar for dollar, like say for instance, if y'all wanted a $30,000 cost pool, then that would kick that price up 30 grand. And we would manage and spend that cost pool where you would still just pay the same amount each month until that cost pool is exhausted. If we don't have the cost pool, exactly what you said, they go to the hospital, you still pay that bill.
Well, and right now, they're letting me pay the healthcare rate, so. And
perfect.
we also have, the deal, if I make deals with them, they say, if you'll pay this, we do it. So
Right.
we do all that, and
That's
we
awesome.
are very proactive in the court thing too.
Yeah.
Just so we'll know.
Absolutely.
And what you're saying is correct about managing the courts and all of that.
Mhm.
That works. But when you have things going on in the jail, and we know, like, by things that's just gonna cost money, I mean, you have to fix.
Mhm.
So if they have to go off somewhere, that's gonna be on us.
If they have to go off, yeah. If you have a nurse in the jail
Well,
working,
Yeah.
they may not have to go off. That's the point.
I agree with your space.
People seem to get sick when they go to jail.
I know that there's a lot of counties that when we come in and we start regulating the medications, for instance, You know, I know that y'all had a question about, you know, 3 times. Well, if the guy is mandated to get medicine 3 times a day, under our care, he's gonna get it if that's what he absolutely has to have. But the majority of them, like what you said, they come to jail to get on the meds.
Yeah, right.
And historically, we come in with our policy, protocols, procedures, and evaluations, and we put them on med pass twice a day. It saves time, it saves money, it saves, you know, all the things that you want to save in the jail. Plus, I mean, why should, just because they come to jail, should we rock them like a baby? I mean, they're in jail, you know, I mean, part of my position on that, that's the way I feel. And so, you know, we medicate them what they need, and we treat them the way they need to be treated and take good care of them, but we're not gonna.
There'll be 2 days that Joe won't be there, and the jail staff will have to administer.
Yes, sir, and
What
on those that,
liability is that?
well, we still have the liability on us because it's under our medical contract, even though we're not on site. Secondly, we would pack the meds for the officers versus the officers packing the meds like they do right now.
Now, wait a minute, or it's not already packed.
No, the meds are packed, but we'll make sure our supervisors will oversee everything that is going to be passed out. So in other words, it'll be under medical review every time. Even if our people are off, they will review the med pass for the weekends or whenever the days they're not there, so that it's been approved medically to be passed out.
Why should that difference because the way it is now?
You know, Jordan's told me that they were single dosing.
No. I mean, I can go get the med. I can get the med box for you now.
What he told me, he said that they break them down in single dose.
Okay.
You know,
They are in a single dose, but they're in a 30-day pack. They're not, they are in a package to where you're not giving it to the inmate. It's not singly packed for the inmate, like Mr. Wiley was talking about a while ago. The way it is now, we are responsible for that as soon as Jordan brings it to us. It's in a 30-day pack and a 30-day envelope. You have to pop that med out. You have to give it to the certain inmate. Every shift that you do that, you have to count the meds, you have to inventory the meds, you have to pass out the meds, you have to package the meds.
So they're bubble packed, is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir, exactly.
So they are in individual doses. They're not loose in a jar.
No, they're not in a jar, no.
Can we still charge co-pays to the, we ain't got any co-pay money this year. That would be something that, I guess.
We insist on copay.
well, that's what we've been trying to do.
Yeah, we insist on it with our policies, procedures, because if you don't have copay in jail, guess what? Everybody's sick. You make them pay $5 to come see the nurse, boom, and that money goes back to the county. We don't want that money, we don't keep that money. That goes back to the county. We want y'all to have that money, but we do want to have a copay so that we minimize little Johnny from ringing up the sick call bell.
What's happening to our copay?
I don't know, we haven't gotten any this year.
They're supposed to be, you can pull it out of their commissary if they go. but-
$5 per visit.
Yeah, we've got a copay there, but it's
You know, I'm sure
being
that-
led by the commissary here.
If they don't have money in there, it just goes.
We got it for just a small
They may
amount
be
last year,
indebted to the
and
county,
then
you know.
stop raising.
Well, if they're indigent, like Marcia said, if they're indigent, they have no commissary. You're
They're
just,
running negative balances, and some days, one of them checks back in, and most of them do if they accidentally come in with some commissary money. The way that's set up, you'll go in and get it.
it takes it.
Now,
But-
I mean, it's currently incarcerated that would be regarded as
So-
Biggest part.
in our population. I mean,
I don't know.
Out of 65, I would say 75% of those people are indigent. We might have 10 or 15, and the ones that do have commissary, that do have money brought in on their books, you don't ever see them go to the doctor because they would rather spend that money on phone cards and food.
in our, I'm sure all it's that way, but in our current contract, we have renal dialysis and other major chronic issues are our responsibility to do it, not theirs. Off-site medical services, anytime that happens, is going to be our responsibility.
Unless y'all want to look at the cost and go with the cost pool feature.
Which is what we're wanting to do.
If y'all want to do that, that's dollar for dollar. Just add that, whatever dollar amount to
I don't
the
know.
contract offer that we get.
Would our cost for outside services, in your opinion, Marcia, go up if we did that?
Actually, it would probably go down with a nurse there. I think that we have a lot of
Is he
unnecessary.
paying more per incident but less incident? What you saying?
Is that something that we would just pick a number on?
Whatever you're comfortable with, like say you know what you budget for your medical every year. And you say you take that base $66,000 cost, and then you add to that dollar for dollar whatever you want your cost pool to be. So if you say you want to add 30,000, then we would amortize that over 12 months, and you pay, that would be divided by 12, and that's what you pay monthly.
Okay, you're paying all the bills, and at the end
Yes,
of the year, if, out of that 30,000, if you just pay 15, then
You return 15.
credit the 15.
My little bow-legged self will be right here with a check.
And would you say probably about 80% of the people have their cost pool?
I would say that majority of our contracts in Texas have cost pools. And
Because most of them talk about getting money back.
yeah, depending on the population of the facility, that's, you know, like Tyler has a huge cost pool. They have 1,100 inmates.
Yeah, that's pretty good size.
Yeah, it's pretty good size. So your cost pool could be either 20 to 30, but what I would recommend you do or you estimate is what was your expenditures from last year, do it compared to there, and I think if we start at 30 grand, we're still going to be coming in under what you spent from last year. And then, you know, that 30, we manage that microscopically, I promise you. I like a fine-tooth comb, and we can also send you monthly reports to let you know exactly how much of that has been spent each month to date, so that you can monitor it yourself. And then at the end of the year, if, let's say we spent half of it and the other half is still in that pool, boom, I'll be back here with a check for 15 grand for you.
I suppose it works both ways too.
If you go over the cost
Oh, we
pool,
spent them, yeah, then we.
if you have a catastrophic inmate, you know,
Usually Sullivan County, were they in the cost pool?
Don't pay it anyway.
well, you're gonna pay it anyway.
Right.
If you, once the cost pool is exhausted, say y'all choose a $30,000 cost pool, and then you get a catastrophic inmate that costs the county 100 grand. It'll eat that 30,000 up, and then that 70, the county will be on the hook for it. But, I mean, that's gonna happen anyway. I mean, you know, that's just the way,
So what we're doing is giving you our money that you manage it for us for that year.
on that cost pool, yes, sir. And
Well, would y'all do what, like Marcia did on something like that? We had a care flight and she negotiated and got it a little lower.
yeah,
Y'all had somebody that negotiated.
24,000 and 4,000.
I'm looking forward, if we were to get the contract, to working with Marcia all the time. I think she's done a lot of good for the county, in my opinion, and I think we could enhance her ability, give her more ammunition to work with, you know, and working with our nurses and that kind of thing. I think that could be a very cohesive type of effort to really save the county some money and minimize some expenses that maybe you've had in the past. I don't know, but
Ammunition and Marcia using the same sentence requires some contemplation.
I realize I may be going out on a limb there, but you know, as long as we got a lot of guys in here, we might stay safe.
I like that you said that, because Marcia has done.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think we could, you know, partner up with her and really not take away from anything she's done, but maybe help and assist from our perspective as well, and save the county money. But that's the bottom line. Y'all don't
It ain't our money, we're stewards for our
absolutely.
people.
I understand and respect that totally. Do respect that.
So Marcia, how much have we been paying out for hospital money, for out of jail money? 30,000 way too much,
Way too much.
20 more like.
You know, my deal with the hospital, they're doing us a great job and they really work with me to hold everything down. But when the inmate comes through the door, they're going to see them. And, you know, if you could maybe cut that
Cost
down.
business, yeah.
That's what I thought, and that would also affect our ambulance stuff. That would put, we wouldn't have to call the ambulance so much, so that would help our ambulance contract probably. And I've just recently got a policy where I can renew, they have now let us start renewing inmates on care flight at a pretty reasonable cost. So that would save us
Yeah.
Because we've had, they dropped that service a couple of years ago.
What Montague said too, with having the nurses in there, now the inmates don't get to take their trip to Bowie,
Right.
and now they have to stay in Montague. There's not as many trips to see
But
the nurse
we
now.
don't do that anymore anyway.
They come,
They do, I understand that.
but it this is my deal. And it's nothing to do with Marcia. My argument with that is, like she said, the person that sees those individuals. To me, there's been an excessive amount of trips outside that jail that I don't think really needed to be.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's where I was going with that.
You know,
Exactly.
right, and basically, what I feel like they would be doing would be triage.
Well, we do.
They would cope with the chase and the people that doesn't really need to go. And we're, right now, that's been my problem, I'm not sure we're being triaged the way, and there's some guesswork, let's just send them out there and do this. I can see where that would help in that situation, because it's been a little more this year than I've had.
Well, they're not taking away nothing from our medical. But
They're
they're
not
not
a great
trained
job.
with inmates, and your guys are trained with inmates, and there's two ways to handle them.
Well, you know,
The feel sorry, or I know how you're doing, what you're doing.
you know, but you know, it's been my experience. They will lie to you, as y'all well know. You know, I like to have a nurse there. You allow this lady or this man, this nurse, about your medical issues, but they are medically trained. They know it better than a detention officer. And like Marcia said, the trips to the ER. There's so many hidden costs. The minute you send somebody outside that facility, you're a man down in the jail. You're a man short staff. You're spending gas, tires, money, and I realize I'm preaching to the choir. And not to mention the escape risk or the other intangibles that you don't know about. So we try to do as much in-house as we possibly can, conservatively deal with the issues, and minimize those kinds of trips.
If you would, please, would you state your name?
Tim, T-I-M,
T-I-M.
Quintana. I'll give you one of my cards, Judge.
Yeah.
Quintana. I have 5 of them in my billfold.
You got another one?
Yes, sir. Looking at all sports.
Thank you, sir. That's a Japanese sword.
Yes, it is a Japanese sword. Bam. It's bam.
It's a good time to be giving us some presentation, because it's just about our third meeting right now on compiling ensuing budget, working on that year.
Okay, one judge was talking about in the contract, the daily average population. Where's that number come from? Can we pick that number, or is it gonna be?
It's mandated by how many, what you do is, like I said, we have a spreadsheet, and we have to put the count of the jail every day. That spreadsheet goes into the state as well, the number. That averages out your average daily population from every day that you put in your.
Sounds like a public school system.
Oh, it's
Every day attendance.
It's very much like that.
That comes from the last jail inspection number.
Your jail inspection, the number that they give, that you have that day,
Right.
that's gonna be what you have on your paperwork for the year from the state.
Okay.
Just because that's the day she was there, and that's the average daily population.
So if we was to execute contract the next month or two, that's gonna be the number.
Yes, sir.
You think it's 65?
65.3.
Even if we went with it and we didn't like it, at least we're getting to kick the tires for 2 months, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. We cover our own contract.
I mean, if we started, say we started July 1st, then that monthly amount, which would be, as it stands right now, 66,000 divided by 12, that's what you pay in the month of July. And then in the month of August, that's what you pay in the month of August. To us. If you go with the cost pool, it's a little bit
It's a
higher.
number you can budget.
Yes, sir, you can budget, yeah, and even if, let's say you go with a $30,000 cost pool, makes your total contract, $96,000, all right? Whatever that is divided by 12, that would be your monthly amount. Let's say you had an inmate that cost you 10 grand the second day the contract started. But that's all the money that came out of that cost pool. You're still only paying that budgetary amount every month. Even though you haven't paid that cost pool all the way out through the 12 months, you know, we still honor the cost pool the minute the contract started. So gives you a little bit extra, you know, financial flexibility.
the loan.
Yeah, a little financial flexibility. It's really, you know, it's not really a loan, but it is, I guess, overnight or within 30 or 60 days, you're right, so.
Contract is based on 65, and that would be good for the term of contract until our average daily population changed for an entire year or a contract term.
Yes, sir. And I might add something to that too, Judge, that's a good point to bring up. Let's say, for instance, that you hit 65, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, because of the flooding, or because of the tornado, or because of who knows, the population spiked to 85. And you're paying this $1.25, well, Eric or Sheriff or Chief would call Tim and say, hey, Tim, let's come out here and let's work these numbers and see which way we can save the most money. Then I would come back and write a different ADP if that helps the county save money, and we can amend the contract that way. So as we go down the road, what we like to do is be a partner. If this works better for the county, then that's what we want to do. If we need to raise that number or lower that number after we get into it and we see where we're at, like we're kicking the tires, you know, you can call Tim. Tim's going to come out here. We're going to work it out.
I thought our number was more like around 70.
And it might have been the previous 2 years. I know 2 years ago the number was up over 70.
We went over those numbers pretty thoroughly.
Yeah.
So if we can get closer to 70 with the contract, that would feel better.
Well, you gotta go by what the state.
I'm sure you can lead you. Tim said it worked.
I'm like an old yellow yard dog. I'll keep coming back.
So constantly if the numbers go down, the cost next year probably will be next year.
If the numbers go down, which usually they don't in inmate world, but if they did, yes, sir, we would renegotiate that and generate that revenue stream down for us and save you some money that way. I mean, I don't get paid a commission to do this. I want to get y'all's business, but if we don't, I'm going to shake hands and be friends with you forever. I mean, that's just the way I am, but I think we can save y'all some money.
$1.25 is $1.25 per month. I'll that for that.
It's $1.25 per day per inmate. Over the average daily population. So at the end of the month, if you have a 65 ADP and you turn in 85 inmates, it's going to cost the county some money, $200-300. But you know, we can address it at that point if Eric thinks or if the county thinks that it's those inmate
So
numbers.
it's over 20, it'd be 20 times 30 days times $1.25. Right?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question, Tim. Like, let's say that something happens in Breckenridge Jail and their plumbing goes out. And we got a house 15 of their inmates.
Like Wichita County, whose jail has failed inspection. They have asked us, how many inmates can we take? We told them we could take over 40 inmates of their population.
So now what happens?
We would redo the contract. You would be having a contract with Wichita County and billing Wichita County
For those inmates.
for those
I
inmates.
got you.
And while they're in your jail, we would work with them medically and work those kind of numbers out as well. That
So
happens.
it'd be a supplemental contract for outside inmates?
Well, he would have a contract with the outside inmates, and we would just raise the ADP.
You have nothing to do with it.
Right. We would just treat the
We would
inmates.
incorporate those numbers into our.
Yes, sir.
And let's say that we kept them for 2 months, our ADP would be whatever we got from Wichita plus ours.
Which if we're housing 40 of them, we're actually, I hate to say it, but we're making some money off of them probably.
That doesn't make our next year's average higher than it normally would be.
I'm sure. It's still going to stay at 2%. I mean, your cost increase or whatever.
Because if you're doing out of county ones, it doesn't count on yours.
Technically, those aren't going to be on your.
You're not gonna
Gotcha.
It's separate.
That's it, yes, sir.
That's good enough.
And I'm hoping that we do get those.
I know, it's okay.
Because that would benefit the county greatly.
But you always get their sweethearts usually.
Yeah, we talked.
We're gonna get the best of the best.
They got some sweethearts. I toured that jail the other day. They got some sweethearts over there.
Yeah.
We should know something within 2 weeks about that as well, so, I mean, we'll make sure that we keep the court up to date on that as well.
Do you have enough staff?
We do right now. Now, once we lose one more, then we'll be short. And that would be the problem. We'd have to hire one very quickly.
And you're going to lose one in August, right?
Yes, sir.
One thing I might add about the contract inmates, we have a lot of jails that have both other local counties and federal contracts. We do all the billing for them, we can assist in doing that. But by having a medical provider in your jail, that enhances, that makes you a more attractive entity to get those kinds of contracts as well. That's just been my experience.
Well, they'll send you all their vegetables, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get the peaches all good.
Yeah, they'll give you those,
You get the best of the best.
We still, our contract with theirs is still good, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. And I actually, and I know that this isn't on the agenda, and I haven't spoke with the chief or the sheriff about this, but I would like to get with them and maybe see if that is okay with the cost. Is $37.50, or if we wanted to increase it.
We had a contract that was signed,
Mm-hmm.
you remember, I can't.
6 years ago.
I was gonna say it was four.
But it was-
And it was what, 6 years
It
ago?
was $37.50 per inmate.
I think you should go up. We were talking 4% a year.
Yes,
Our
sir.
charge,
Yes, sir. So for every inmate, they would charge us, or we would charge them $37.50 as it speaks right now.
Yeah.
So,
do you,
Plus the medical.
yes, ma'am.
Mr. Brown, do you have a, average daily cost for housing on our prisoners here?
Usually it's right around that. No, no, sir, I do not. I don't.
Calculated that in a long time, either for you.
No, but with the different meal service and stuff, I mean,
When the sheriff went with 5-star, I do know that decreased a ton with that. Because at one time, I think it was pretty high.
Okay.
I know it's extremely lower now with 5-star.
Is there any more questions you'd like to know? Is there any specific action you'd like to take on this thing?
I'd like to thank the commissioners for their time today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Consider that in our budget.
Thank you all very much.
Can you take a good one, Tom? Good presentation.
okay, yeah, we did.
I'm sorry.
Size, violence. Table that for further consideration. All in favor? Aye. Anybody know anything about farm restrictions?
Understand there was a rain this weekend?
I believe it was.
Yep.
There sure was.
Where?
I got rain yesterday.
I love sprinkles. It is rough.